My name is Susan Jenei. The date was December 15th, 2019. I left Budapest airport in Hungary at 6 o'clock in the morning. I traveled to Vancouver, Canada, where my love was waiting for me. I was facing the longest journey of my life. On the one hand, I was very excited because a completely new life awaited me on another continent. My elder sister and her family were a little bit sad because I was leaving for the other side of the world into the unknown. I have never been to Canada before. They were worried about me, everything was so uncertain, except one thing. Our love was solid as a rock. On the other hand, I worried because my English at that time was very poor, but I was happy to understand the flight attendant when she asked me what I would like to have to dinner. 18 hours later, I landed at Vancouver airport when my husband waited for me. It was very emotional. We hugged each other for a long time. We were very happy while we drove to Chilliwack. When we arrived, the city was already decorated for Christmas, which made my emotions deeper and stronger. My arrival in Canada was unforgettable and fairy tale-like. The new year brought me several new experiences. Everything was new to me. I felt like I was a child who was amazed at everything. If you had lived half of your life in Europe, you wouldn't have seen these big cars on these wide roads, and you wouldn't have seen this type of architecture there. I knew that Canada was a multicultural country, but getting into it that fast was something that I had never imagined before. I love Canada as a country, I like the Canadian people, but Canadian nature is the most amazing thing to me. I'm happy, we are happy here, but sometimes I miss my family and friends so much. When this feeling comes, I need something that diverts my thoughts. When this happens, we jump into our car and go up north to see, to film, and photograph authentic Canadian nature. Fortunately, Canada always has something special to offer me. I came from a country that I loved to live in, and I never thought I would ever leave that country, but my destiny had different plans. I'm living here in Canada in harmony with my husband for more than 2 years. Canada has become my second home, and we are working on building our new life together here.
My life in Canada so far. My name is Bibiana. I'm from Colombia and I have been in Canada for 6 months. I can say my life in Canada has been challenging every day in a positive way. I'm learning new skills and reinventing myself in a way never imagined before. We decided to move to Canada as a family in 2019 when I was expecting my baby. In that time I was living in Colombia part-time and my husband used to work part of the time of the year here in Canada. We based our decision considering that Canada was the best option for us to be together again. We moved to our beautiful condo in Garrison in April. I fell in love with this neighborhood when I came in 2018, so I'm so happy to this is our first home. After 3 days we moved here. My husband needs to went to work at north of the province, so I'm staying with my baby alone for 2 weeks. And I think those days was so hard for me. I was extremely emotional. I don't knew anybody in the city. So it was just the two of us discovering the city. We used to went to parks, Cotton Mall, McDonald's, Winners used to be our favorite places. Still our favorite places. Everything was new and fun. Perhaps was like a way to get off the apartment. And I can say the nice people of Chilliwack smiled and start a short conversation with us. Those little gestures was huge for me, and that really highlight of my days. After my first month, start English classes here. and I feel so blessed. I met newcomers just like me, going through to the same process, and I feel like I belong to this community. Also, we joined a fitness class called Toddler and Mom in summer. It was so fun for us. See my daughter play with friends was priceless and was another way to keep busy. I have been here for a short time, however, I love the nice people I have met here. Also, I enjoy how organized the Canadians are, and I feel safe around the city. Mostly, I love how much we achieved like a family in just a few months, and I'm very positive about the future. Thank you.
Hi, I would like to share with you my immigration story. My name is Hiba. I came to Canada from Lebanon for a better future with my husband and my son. I remember my first day in Montreal. It was raining and we were very tired after a 16-hour flight. When we arrived, my husband's friend met us at Montreal airport and he picked us up and took us to the hotel. We stayed in the hotel for 2 weeks, then we ran a small apartment. Before we came to Canada, we lived in France because of my husband's work, so it was not my first experience, and I was not scared because I came to a new country, because my husband speaks English and I speak French too. But when I came to Montreal, I was really surprised by the French accent. It was different from France and I was not familiar with it. So I took time to get accustomed with it. I was so stunned by the modern architecture in downtown Montreal and the huge pedestrian network and the underground city, which is so different from France. After 2.5 years in Montreal, we went back to our home country. In 2020, we decided to leave Lebanon again. We moved to Canada after the economic crisis and the big explosion in Beirut City. We went to Calgary because I have a big family there. However, after 8 months, we left Calgary because my husband found a great job at the University of Fraser Valley in Abbotsford. Now, I live in Chilliwack and my kids enjoy the beauty of nature here. You may not be able to choose where you are born, but I think you can decide where you want to live, and we decided to live here in Chilliwack because it's so much safer in many ways.
Tell you about my life in Canada. My name is Amna. I came to Canada from Pakistan on September 13, 2014. My husband traveled with me. My in-laws picked us at the airport in Vancouver. I felt so sad because I missed my family. I was a little scared because I was coming a new country that had another language. I came to Canada 1.5 years after my marriage because I wanted to live with my husband. After coming here, after 3 years, were very good with my husband. In these 3 years, we bought our new house and we also had a daughter. After 3 years, suddenly my life changed a lot because my husband was in an accident and passed away. My daughter was 2 years old at that time. I was pregnant too. My son was born 4 months after my husband's death. It has been 5 years since my husband passed away. In these 5 years, I have faced a very tough time. Many times I thought to go back my home country. Now I have become very strong and want to stay in Canada because my children's future is here and we are safe here. This is where my new life is with my children, and I am lucky to have a lot of good people in my life. I'm so happy here. Thank
Hi, my name is Sofia. I am from Morocco. I want to tell you about my first day in Canada. I arrived in Vancouver on August 2017 at night and alone. I came to Canada because I was getting married and I feel so excited, nervous, and happy. And I had many mixed emotions. During my first month, I feel so sad because I missed my family, my friend, my job, many other things. Living in the country where I don't know the language, it was a big challenge for me. However, people in Canada are very helpful and they are always patient and try to understand me. Now I am so happy to live in Canada. It's my second country. I am happy to be around with the nice and smiley people with the beautiful nature.
Hi, I would like to talk about my first day in Canada. I arrived in Toronto, Canada on July 13, 2016. I had already left Japan 3 months ago. After leaving Japan, my husband and I traveled all over Asia and Europe. When I arrived in Canada, I had mixed feelings. My husband is Canadian, but he lived in Japan for a long time. We met and married in Japan. However, we didn't enjoy our marriage life because he worked too much. We didn't have enough time to spend with each other. One day he suggested to move to Canada for a better life. I needed to think about more carefully because I did not want to leave Japan. However, I decided to immigrate to Canada because I wanted to respect his wishes and I wanted to challenge myself by doing something new in my life. After we left Japan, we enjoyed our travels as if it was our honeymoon. Because we didn't have time to go anywhere after we got married. I didn't feel particularly sad to leave Japan. However, and I was happy that after all the traveling, I was able to come to visit in Canada safe and sound. I was excited about what would happen in the future, but also I was feeling very nervous because I was supposed to live with my husband's family. I was worried about lots of things like different culture and different language. Now I feel like Canada is my new home and I'm so happy here and I think I made a good decision to come to Canada. I want to explore more about this beautiful country.